Good morning, my friends. It is 10 a.m. even on a Thursday. And tomorrow is my one big day off. And one of the things that I've learned being my age is that one day off, don't cut it. Well, on a good note, today I weigh 198, which is about 10 pounds less than what I used to weigh. And part of what happened that changed all that was what I ate and frequency of. No fast food, only eating at home, 3 basic small meals, and so far I'm down 10 pounds. 198, but I should weigh about 178 to about 180, and that's what I weighed pre-pandemic. And I've got a lot more to go into about that. But my goal is about 178 to 180, which is what I was before all this happened. Because you couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't do anything, and all I could do was order my food through DoorDash or whatever. And that was the only way I could ever get my food, was to do it that way. So, sat at home and ate burgers and all this other shit. So, eventually down the line, I got diagnosed with what I have, which is COPD. Now, I found out a lot of things about this. So one of the reasons why I might cough a lot while I'm driving is the posture that I have and the pressure on my stomach. So it affects my breathing. And it's the same with sleeping and everything else. And after being sleep deprived for about 3 days, I was getting pretty freaking tired. So took some Advil, propped up an extra pillow, and I actually slept. I did wake up once, but I did sleep because I had a dream, and you usually only dream with REM sleep, so that's the kind of sleep you need. And so last night was fairly decent. So one of the reasons why you see me coughing a lot driving is my posture. At work, when I'm standing up, I hardly ever cough. So it's all just posture. It's not that the disease itself will go away, but it is easier maintained if you have good posture and lose weight and all this other good stuff. Well, so okay, I'm 10 pounds down, and that's good. And now I'm on my next 10. I try not to eat, like, I had a piece of candy like the other day, but it wasn't like a big ass bar. And maybe I'll have that little piece again tonight. So overall, doing a little better than before. Now we're going to get into some meat and potatoes about some stuff. So you got North Korea, you got China, you got all these countries that are getting in this stuff together. I think it's Taiwan itself that is coming into the China Sea or whatever it is. And China basically said that if they or the United States or anybody else violates the water line, they're going to board the boats. Of course, you know us, DEFCON system still at 3. I don't know if they'll ever change that unless they feel they have to, because a lot of younger people, I'm not saying all, but a lot of younger people that are tied to their phones and all this other stuff don't know what that is even. So, and it's closer to a bigger war is what the DEFCON system is. Okay? Well, there's that. There's all kinds of things that are going on. Like over there in Paris, they got some big massive protest, but see, instead of a couple of hundred people, it's hundreds of thousands of people. Meaning that wherever you live in the world, if that is to go down thousands to hundreds of thousands, there's no one going to stop that. 100, 200, that's actually capable. But hundreds of thousands, no. And I think it's the consulate or whatever they're going on. Then you got Russia's consulate is on fire. So there's that. who knows what's going to go on there. So I told my girlfriend this because a lot of people that I talk to, and I've been doing this crap since I was 14 years old. So when Pastor Paul had that one webinar, the only thing I wanted to know was what Mike from Around the World said, because all the other guys, Quail and all them, I already knew. Deo, I already knew all that stuff. So it wasn't anything secret to me that was on a pay channel that I needed to pay for. So there went that. But I already knew all that. So, Stan Deo, something like that. Anyway, the bit is, the closer this thing gets, and this is one of the reasons why I don't comment a lot on some of the groups I'm on the Dreaded FB that talk about this, because I'm not saying that they're wrong, because you might be seeing something, but how is it people post all these pictures of this stuff that none of us see? See what I mean? So it doesn't make any sense as to how these guys, wow, look at this. Also, the other thing I want to go into again, that Gil Broussard mentioned, this is why I don't even comment on these pictures anymore, is that you and I, maybe one day, but you and I today are not going to see a Tatooine sky, meaning two suns. That is not happening, not yet. So any of those pictures that you see are fake. You might be getting a glimpse of something on the horizon, maybe, but it's not Tatooine. It isn't. And what Gil talks about is a comet, not a planet, not a dwarf star. Red iron oxide comet. Now, there is a comet coming today, well, not today, but in this month. And I don't know what day that, well, it's supposed to be like last month, but visible this month. And nobody knows if that's the actual thing or not, right? So, possibly this year, possibly next year. I have a person that I'm in touch with a lot of that's kind of on this, but I think his dates are kind of wrong. I mean, this is just a person, okay? And I think he subscribes to me, so it's like, look, I'm not putting you down. You could be right. You might be. But in my mind, more than likely, it's either going to be this year or next year. And this doesn't mean end of the world. It just means when a lot of big shit happens, okay? So, another thing that's kind of crazy that you have to kind of think about is that they got this new strain of you-know-what coming out of the dreaded you-know-who, and they haven't said to anybody yet when. But the interesting thing is, like I say, it's either just happen chance or something, but it's coming around another election season. Isn't that funny? Oh, this new so-and-so, we just found it out. You know what I mean? Well, that's kind of interesting, but then again, not sure how much I know. I mean, I'm not saying I don't believe it, because I think it's airborne. I think that wherever that thing happens to be, or its dust trail, is then when people catch whatever it is, because it's iron oxide and it's in the air. So wherever the earth is within the tail of it is when people get sick. But it is kind of interesting because here comes another election year and bingo, a new strain. All kinds of possible scenarios. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. say he's throwing his hat in the ring. You know, what's his name is leading, and if they say if it was a vote today, he would win. Well, I'm kind of siding with Mike and a lot of other people about that, so I don't know if that's really going to happen, no matter what. But there's also been an uptick of earthquakes. There was I'll say a 5 here. It was a 4.6, but that's close enough that it might have been bigger. People I knew felt it. I didn't. And it was funny, too, because instantaneously, like the second that hit, my app went off with one in Panama, 6.6. Somebody said it was a 7.0. You must have been using a different system because the two that I have instantly came up 6.6 before they could change it to like 6.2. So I don't know what's going on. Then you got all these big major upticks and quakes in Wyoming. Mammoth. Gee, where's that? Yellowstone. Mike says he sees a cloud from the west. That could be many things. That could be a volcano. That could be something else. The thing is, like today, I'll tell you this is a prep thing. So today, and I'll tell you this myself, if you guys don't do this or think about it, it's a good idea. And you can just use tap water. You don't have to have water because you're not going to drink it. So today, they're going to have a water outage where we live for a little while because they're doing some work, right? Well, smart idea would be to have 2 or 3 gallons of water somewhere maybe behind your toilet or something like that. So if you really had to go to the bathroom, you could flush your toilet. And if you don't within a couple days, 3-4 days, go use that water on your garden if you have one or whatever. And then the same thing goes for, and then you just refill it. And here's another little handy dandy thing that I thought about. So I have a battery supply, right? That I run other things with when the power goes out. I got 2 of them. I thought about getting another one. So let's say your Wi-Fi goes out. Well, if you have one of those that has a plug, like mine does, and as long as the Wi-Fi works, you plug that router into that, you're on the internet. Phones always are on the internet, but if you're using a computer or something like that, and you want to be able to get on, there's your way. See? There's your way. You just have to make sure that you have your alternate thing. Everything you do that you need to do every single day, you should have a way to back that up if you can. See what I mean? Just like that. And then it's all pretty set up for you. You're safe. You see what I'm saying? So that's all you got to do to keep things going for you. You know what I mean? So just make sure you have everything you have or need backed up. That's all you got to do. I have that. I've even got a little solar panel in my pack that I use for my phone. But you might need a bigger one for something else. Just stay supplied and always be ready for anything. Anyway, a lot of things that are going on in the world today. Be prepared for them, be ready for them, and things could work out. But I'm kind of glad I don't like to go on anything on the dreaded FB and say the wrong thing because I don't want to get banned and then I can't comment. I haven't commented on Gil's page at all yet because I don't really want to. You know what I mean? But it's interesting to see the stuff that's there. I go with Gil over anybody else. As much as involved in time travel as I am, it doesn't necessarily mean I buy everything that people tell me about it. You come on my thing, tell me you're from wherever it is, and then, you know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm not sure I buy all of that. Anyway, so that was today's video. In Paris, it's hundreds of thousands that are protesting. Hundreds of thousands. And all this got to take place before that thing shows up. So they got to get a lot of things done before that happens. Today may not be a very good day here. It looks like it's going to be busy. And there's other things I won't mention because certain people have YouTube and they might see my video. But let's just say it's going to lead to a slightly depressing day, but it should be all right. So, anywho, you guys just have a real good day, as I always say. Last night's pink moon was white here, so it wasn't anything special. Passover, I think, has begun, but there's 2, according to Gil. Have a happy that, too. And I guess I'll just talk to you guys later. You guys will have a really good day, and I'll be seeing you.